Hello, welcome to Excel Olympics YouTube channel. My name is Gaspar Kamešek. I'm an Excel MVP from Slovenia, and in this video I'm going to talk about Power Query joins. So that is one of the most powerful things that Power Query does, and there have been numerous videos where I talk about this, but in this one I really want to talk about all the join types, and then in the end we're going to use creating all of those to create the dashboard of this lookup. So we're going to pretend we have two tables, one derived from HR, one derived from the system, and we get those every week and we need to match those up, right? Let's say those are hours worked, hours of sick day, and we just need to match those up, okay? So I've already placed these into Power Query, so we can just go to Power Query. And let me just explain. All I did was I took this and I said from table range. So data from table range. That's all I did to get both of these in there. And now that I have both of these in there, let's look at the data. Or maybe it would even be better to look at it here because I marked it. So we have the usual lookup problem. We have things that are present in the HR table, but are not present on the other side, and I mark those with 8888. And then we have things that are present in the system, but are not present over here, though I mark those 9999, right? And just for reference, let me do 9999, 8, and 7, so we don't get problems on the other end, although I will tell you how we could solve those. So now we go queries, we go into Power Query, and let's start working with these, right? So we're going to go merge queries, but I'm always going to go merge as new. So let's merge as new. And we have the HR, which is our main table, and then we have our systems table. And we're going to merge by ID, right? Well, you should note here, the column you're merging by, the name of the column doesn't matter, but the type of the column does matter. So they both need to be the same type so that they can match up, right? And in this case, it said, yeah, we matched 10 of 11 rows. You can go, okay. You get your original table and whatever was matched to it. And now from the matched table, I will take just the points, right? If I expected more than one row to be matched, so ID 1 could have had multiple entries in here, I would have gone for the aggregate so that I wouldn't blow up my table. I would still only get that one, and then I would use probably average on the points weight or something like that. But at this point, I'm just going to do expand because I know it's 1 to 1. So point weight, and don't use the original column. So don't say system points weight, just say points weight. So I'm not going to use that. I'm going to go okay. And there it is, right? So now I have it. And now I'm going to call this HR join. Right? And basically, I already have some data in here. Right? So I have everything that was matched up. I also know what was not matched up. Right? But basically, this is my result. This is what I'm going to present. And in my join kinds, right, this was left outer. The most basic join kind would say, take the first table, bring the second one next to it, and take whatever you want from here, match by as many columns as you want, the regular thing, right? Now let's go for kind of the not so obvious. Let's say again, merge queries as new. And we're going to merge the same two queries, and I'm going to use the same. So HR will be the main table, and the system will be the one that we're looking up to. But then I'm going to say right outer. Right? I'm going to match by ID. And this is where things get kind of interesting, because what I did, even though I said this is my main table and this one I'm trying to look up, because I'm doing the right outer. So these are actually your left and right, I'm now, because of this, saying this is my main table, and I want you to bring this one next to it. Right? But it doesn't quite work like that, because that is the left, this is the right. So what this said, right outer, it said, yeah, this is now your main table. Okay, but there's still going to be this one here and then this one next to it. So let me show you how that looks. So we matched up and it said 10 out of 13 rows match. So the 13 is telling me that it's no longer taking the HR as the main table. It's now taking the second one. All right. And it was only able to find 10 matches for this one. And I'm going to go okay. And now something interesting happens. I'm still looking at the left table as the main, right? And it seems to have the 10 things that it matched and a single row of nulls. But if I expand this, or even before I expand it, if I just check, well, what are those in the second table? And those are our 3 non-matches. So once I expand this and I say, you know, give me the ID endpoints weight, I'm going to bring both of those out just so we see it, right? Now we have this as our main table and this as if it was joined to it, but it is kind of counterintuitive doing it like this. So I'm just going to say, depending on what you're used to, right? This right outer would usually be, yeah, just use the left outer and switch the tables up because it's more intuitive. It just kind of looks better. Okay, so this is our system join, and this was our right join. And now let's do the whole thing. So now I want to know, yeah, give me everything. Give me everything that's here. Give me everything that's there. Give me everything that's matching. Give me everything that's not matching. Just give me everything, right? And you do that by saying, again, merge as new. And this time, HR and system, this and this. And now I want you to do a full outer, right? So just give me everything on either side. I go, okay. And again, it will look as if it just took the first one, right? Now it did add this one, even though there's no match on the other side, it did add it. And I still got only one row of nulls, but I know that on the other side that will translate to 3 rows. So if I now expand this, bring both of those in, you can see that now I have 3 rows in the second table that are nulls here, and I have a single row in the second table that are null, which has data here. And this has now, if it matched it, it matched it. So this matched perfectly, right? No problem. Now this didn't match, but it still gave me data from both tables, even though there were no match in one of them, so it's all null. And with this one, again, just vice versa. So full outer is what you use when you just want to say, look, I just want to see everything and then see, you know, what's what. And usually this one is not used as much. So this is just literally HR and system. So both tables with all the matches that can be produced and all of those that couldn't be produced, right? Then you have a very interesting type of match, which is inner join. Now, inner join between the, oh, sorry, that would be HR. So between HR and system, the inner join, this one is interesting because it will only return what it was able to match up. So it's kind of like doing lookups, but saying if it had an error, just remove it. Just give me those that you were able to match up. That's what this one will do. So if I go okay, now, mind you, the HR table has that 888, right? But that can't be joined on the other side. So what's it going to return? It's going to return all of those that it could join up, right? But there will be no 9s from this and there will be no 8s from this, right? Why? Well, because those couldn't be matched up. So inner join, right, could also be kind of explained only the matches. Now the problem with inner join, I think, is you don't really know how much fell off on either side, and that could be sometimes, you know, hazardous. And that's why you have the last two joins. So the one before last, so again we go with HR, we go with system, is left anti. And what left anti join means is give me the rows that are in here, but you couldn't match them up to the second table, to the rights table. So give me everything from HR that you couldn't match to the system table. All right, if I now go OK, I get this. And I know this is just nulls, right? So I can just delete this because there's nothing in the systems table that deals with this one. That's why it returned that. So this is left anti, and this is, I'm going to call this HR only, right? Those are the ones that are in the HR only. And then let's do the last one, and I'm guessing you can already guess it. So if I now go HR and system, this and this, and now I want the right anti-join. Now what does that mean? That means give me all of those that are present in the systems table, but you couldn't find a match in the HR table, in the original table. So right anti-join. I go OK. Right, I get a bunch of nulls, but that's okay, because that's from the first table. That's from the left table, from the HR table. I'm expecting nulls, but what I'm expecting here is a whole lot of values. Right, and now this I'll just remove. I should have removed it before so this one would stay ID, but okay. So this one is system only, right? And with all of these joins, we were actually able to not only join up a couple of things, we were also able to get quite a few information about it, right? So let me show you what we could now get from this. And you'll see that in the end, this will be quite an interesting thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the HR join, which is the first one that we did, and I'm going to right click it, and I'm just going to say reference this. And all I want you to do is to take the ID column, and I want you to do statistics on it, and I want you to return a count of that column. Right? I'm going to turn this to a table. I'm going to call this value, and then I'm going to add a column. I'm going to add a column, a custom column. I'm going to call this KPI, and it will be number of rows in the HR table. Okay. Now I could do that on the HR table, or I could do it here. Right? So I'm going to call this append 1, and you'll see why I'm doing this. So that is my table. So it has the value, it has the KPI. And then I'm going to go for the HR and system. Right? What is this? Well, this one tells me this is the, or sorry, systems join. What is this? Well, this is the right outer join. And what this one tells me is how many values were present in the second table, and that's actually this, right? So again, I could do that from the systems table. I'm going to do it from here, just so you see that there's value in all these joins. So again, I'm going to take this first one, I'm going to transform statistics, I'm going to count, I'm going to say convert this to a table. This one we'll call values. It was values, right? Oh, what did I just do? I just destroyed this one. I shouldn't destroy this one. I should do a reference, and now I should destroy it. And this is append 2. So I just need this one, transform, statistics, count, and we got value, not values. Okay, so we call this value, and then we add a column, custom column. It will be called KPI, and the value will be number of rows in the system table. There it is. Now let's go for the next one. Next one, I'm going to do inner join. So I'm going to do reference to the inner join. And what this one tells me is the number of rows it was able to match up to the system. So the number of rows in the HR table that it did find a match in the system. So I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to say transform statistics count to table value add column custom column KPI, and this one will be number of rows in HR that did match. Okay, now let's call that append 3. And then let's do HR only, system only. And now, mind you, from these, we could also do some amazing stuff, right? From this and this, because I could do this. Let me just show you. I could do, and you know what? Let's start with a new query. And let's start with a blank query. And let me just show you. And let me do that. Let me call that append 4. Okay, and I'll start with append 2. And all I need is this value. And let me call that, oh, I can't rename that, then let me call it again. And let me rename that to all rows. Although, to be honest, I should have started with the append 1. There you go, that's all the rows, right? And now I can go, now bring in append 3. So now bring in the number of rows you were able to match. Drill into that one. Rename that one to matched rows, like this. And now give me a new step where you say, take all rows and subtract the matched rows and then divide that by all rows, right? And what this basically is, I'm going to convert this to a table. I'm going to say this is a value, and it's actually a percentage, right? And it's the add column, custom column, KPI, and it's the percentage of non-matches. Right? So how many percent, in percentage, how many did not match? Okay, and now let's look at the numbers of what did not match. So HR only is what did not match from the HR side. And again, we do reference. We just want to count. We want to take that to a table. We will call this value, and we will add a column, custom column. We will call the column KPI. We have to. It needs to have the same name. And this will be number of IDs not present in the system table, or let's say number of IDs present only in HR. I don't want to give them too long a names because otherwise the dashboard will be kind of weird. So let's do this append 5, and now the final one, system only. Again, right click, reference. I need this. I'm going to transform to count, to table, value, and then I'm going to add a column, custom column, KPI, and the KPI will be number of IDs present in system table only. Okay, and this will be append 6. Right? And now for our final number, we'll just do append queries as new. We have multiple to append, and then we just start. So we take all of these, add them here. I'll remove this one because I have it below. Go OK. And there it is. Right? I should switch this around. And let me just say that this will not be append 7. This will actually be dashboard like this. And now close and load 2. And to start with, I'm not going to load anything, but then I'm going to go to my dashboard, and the first thing I'm going to load is my dashboard. So right click, loads to, I don't know if that's visible, but it's right click, loads to a table right here. Okay. And there it is. Right. And the great thing about it is it's dynamic. So next time I go, and let's say this one becomes 777, and this one becomes 9996, I think, right? So now we have one more row over here that will not match up, and one more row over there that should match up, right? Or actually that will not match up, sorry. And if I now go here, these two numbers are gonna both get one more. This is gonna get 1 percentage point more, or actually it will be around 20%. So let's refresh. There it is. Right? So each week now, when we get those two, first thing we do is we go here and we say, yeah, refresh. Oh, there's 5 of them that are not present in the systems table only. Which ones are they? Well, over here we have systems only. Let us load that. Load to. And let's load it to a table on a new worksheet, or, you know, we could just do it here, but let's do it to a new worksheet because it will get a name system only and the table will be called system only. So what you could do here is you could just have a, I don't know, an icon here or whatever, just have a go, right? Sorry, that was systems only. So it would be here, and you could just say this should be a link, and this is again out of it's out of the screen, sorry for that, but it's right click, link, and then you say where should I link? Well, place in this, right? So place in this workbook. Where should I reference? Well, you should reference the system only, right? And you say, okay. And if I say go, there I am. Right, so that's a great way to now have right click, refresh, what happened. So these were the numbers I started with. The systems table has more. That could be, you know, there could be more employees through the years, of course. So how many did it match? Oh, only 8 out of 11. That's not good, right? So how many percentage of non-matches is quite big. So number of IDs present in HR only 3. Okay. So I need to somehow get those to the, to the system, and which should I get? And this should be have a go. And now you say go, and you say, well, these are not present. We should have them. Please supply us with these, right? And it's such a great way, and it's all automatic now. It's just right-click, refresh, right-click, refresh, right? And this goes through both tables that you got, matches them up, and just tells you, look, this is the situation, right? But this is all made possible with joins, with different joins, right? And each of them, as you can see, has its own place and has its own use. So again, left, right, full, inner, left anti, right anti. Where every time what you need to be thinking is, if I go over here, what you need to be thinking is, this is my left table, this is my right table, this is the join guide I'm selecting. Okay, this was a bit of a long video, but I'm hoping that this, I know that this should amaze you, right? Because this really is extremely helpful. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.